So, I unironically really like Bambi the Reckoning. For a movie to come out of the Pooniverse, yes, that's what this weird collection of Disney horror movies is called, this felt like a movie with an admittedly really silly concept, but a fun execution and genuinely decent slasher kills. Bambi the Reckoning manages to not only create a fun twist to the original Disney movie like the Blood and Honey movies before it, but is also a fun watch that kept me entertained throughout, and, in all honesty, it might be one of my favourite bad monster movies now. But before I get too deeply into it, let me get introductions out of the way. Hi everybody, I'm Misa, and I love bad movies. And not only do I love watching bad movies, but I love talking about them and getting other people to watch them, because I enjoy making people watch the stupid shit that I like. Hence why I'm making this video. And another reason why I'm making this video is for my amazing patrons Rob Slide, Fox, and James Horner. You guys are great and you've been really supportive with my content and my artwork, so thank you so much! Now, let's get into Bambi the Reckoning. Right, so when I decided that I wanted to work my way through the twisted childhood movies, i.e. the low-budget horror movies that get their inspiration from mostly Disney properties, I didn't really expect too much. I do really like the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 1 and 2 movies, but my enjoyment of them is more to do with the fact that they're so stupid that I find them enjoyable and entertaining. Plus, I grew up loving Winnie the Pooh, and I still consider him my spirit animal, since we're both fat, we love eating, and we walk around without trousers all the time. So, you know, there's that. Screamboat was okay, but I don't think it's something that I would go out of my way to watch again anytime soon. I mean, if I wanted to watch David Howard Thornton act like a silly little guy while killing people, then I would just watch one of the Terrifier movies. And Piglet is a movie that I hate with every fibre of my being, and I will never watch it again under any circumstances. However, I was pleasantly surprised with Bambi the Reckoning. Having been made by the same people who made Blood and Honey 1 and 2, despite the low budget, effort was clearly made to not only make this an aesthetically pleasing movie with pretty good cinematography and CGI that isn't horrific, but a movie that's genuinely a fun slasher monster movie. And when I say low budget, I mean low budget. This movie cost £250,000 to make, and the worldwide gross for the movie was $408,758. So it made something back. Now, obviously, there are issues with it. The CGI, while not being the worst I've ever seen, is still very questionable when Bambi is in brightly lit areas. And the acting isn't amazing.
You'll get fat, you know, if you keep eating those.
Will I?
You'll balloon like a bouncy castle. Bounce, bouncy, bounce.
But I feel like the movie has enough positive qualities to make up for these things, which I'll be getting into. Now, when it comes to the original Bambi movie, I was never the biggest fan of it as a kid. It's not that I didn't think the movie was good, I just found it too depressing. I was more of a Lion King girl. And yeah, I know that The Lion King has one of the most depressing death scenes of all time, but it also had this gay icon, so can you blame me for loving it so much? All this to say, I don't have any childhood attachment to Bambi as a product like I do The Lion King or Winnie the Pooh. So for me personally, I don't really care about it being reimagined in a darker way. But I'm also not really attached to the property, so I didn't immediately know that I was going to like it. I do, however, love deer. And I have ever since my husband and I got rushed by them in Nara. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god.
It is kind of funny.
As you can see, I also understand what it's like to have a deer chasing you around trying to eat you. You see this little fucker? He tried to gobble me alive. But anyway, let's get into what actually happens in the movie, otherwise I'll just keep waffling. As always, spoiler warning for the whole movie, and despite me owning it, I am obliged to tell you that, like pretty much every movie I've ever reviewed on this channel, you can watch it on Prime. Seriously, they really need to just sponsor me at this point. I'm a walking advertisement for them. But my point is, you can watch it on Prime and come back if you don't want to be spoiled. So, let's get into Bambi: The Reckoning. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this was made by the same team who made Blood and Honey 1 and 2. And you can seriously tell that the budget has gone up here, and they figured out how to utilize it better because look at the cinematography here, it's pretty good. And much like Blood and Honey 1 and 2, there's an animated segment at the beginning of the movie to set the tone of the film, and to imitate a cute animated movie. And it's adorable, but eerie at the same time. It basically explains that Bambi's mum and girlfriend were both killed by humans at separate points in his life, and his child and him were separated. But not before he drank some radioactive sludge, causing him to become an unstoppable killing machine set on revenge against humans. So the setup is very similar to Rippy, which I just reviewed not long ago, except Bambi actually has a legitimate reason for wanting to kill the humans, and the animated segment was actually stylized and not lazy. I'm sorry, I didn't emphasize this in my last video, but the animated segment at the end of Rippy is just so fucking horrendous. Look at how this rabbit just changes art style between shots, like come on, it's so lazy! But I really like that Bambi going for revenge against the humans, even if they didn't have this animated segment to explain it, would make complete sense even within the context of the original Disney film. I think that it was a smart choice to make Bambi their next project after the Peter Pan horror movie. Yes, that does exist. They are pumping these things out, honestly. This and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare both came out in 2025. Blood and Honey 1 and 2 only came out in 2023 and 2024 respectively. Like, how are they making these things so quickly? Anyway, Bambi becomes a monster and then boom, title card. I really like this title card. It's creepy and unsettling, and the lack of music is such a good choice. Honestly, nothing but positive so far when it comes to the film. But unfortunately, the more negative aspects of the film start to show here.
So you're not coming? Do you know what, Simon? I'm going to tell him. I am, because after everything you've said to him, everything you've promised, you just can't be bothered. You'd rather pretend to be on a work trip. You know what else? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Now, solely based on the acting in the first Blood and Honey, I wouldn't expect amazing performances from this film at all. My expectations were actually shockingly low for the acting. But when I tell you that the acting is bad...
Come on, bloody thing. Come on.
Don't get me wrong, the characters themselves aren't the worst, and the main cast do actually have some personality and believable dynamics. But their acting does let them down. So arguably, the main characters are Benji and his mum. Benji's dad neglects him and his mum is constantly left to pick up the pieces, as a lot of single mothers are. And she's about to take him to a large house in the middle of nowhere to see his dad's family. Which I think is pretty crazy, considering his dad isn't actually coming with them.
You're getting deported, aren't you?
What?
Deported. You and Dad. Not married anymore.
Aww. See, this is believable. I like that they're humanizing the characters this way. See that, Rippy? It's not hard to make your characters likable. Sorry that I'm comparing the movie to Rippy so much, but they're both basically trying to make the same movie, and it's so shocking how much better Bambi: The Reckoning is doing at that. Fucking hell, we're only 8 minutes in and Bambi's already trying to kill the characters. Jesus, this movie doesn't fuck around. So remember in my last video when I mentioned that Rippy had a large budget but the CGI looked awful? Well, imagine being beaten by a movie that had less than 10% of your budget when it came to the CGI. Okay, I'll stop with the Rippy comparisons. For now. So Bambi completely demolishes this car, killing the poor taxi driver in the process. I really like this shot. I have nothing to add. Okay, you can't just hit me with this after such a promising first kill scene. Bambi! Bambi! Like, come on. So this is Benji's paternal grandmother, and she's kinda lost it. No one really knows why she's so obsessed with Bambi, and the movie doesn't really explain it. And in fact, no one even bothers to ask her why. It's just implied that she's seen him before, and that's all we can really guess. I kind of wish they expanded on this plot point, since they emphasize it so much throughout the beginning of the film. But we can't always have interesting characters. I'm getting too greedy. I need to remind myself that I'm watching a movie called Bambi the Reckoning.
Well, why don't you give her a call?
I would do, but I don't have any signal here, do I?
Landline?
How'd you have it disconnected?
Why?
Mother kept calling the police.
You disconnected the phone line, and there's no signal, and you are in the middle of nowhere. Girl, you're too black for this kind of nonsense. Don't pretend that you're fine with this. Before anybody gets offended, I am mixed race, I am half African, please shut up. Oh, and speaking of these characters, it's not immediately clear who they actually are. They're just introduced and we're supposed to figure it out without very clear context cues, annoyingly. But these guys are Benji's uncles, this woman is one of the brothers' wife, and this kid is Benji's cousin. But the wife is the cousin's stepmom. Okay, got it? Good, because most of these characters are not important and they could have literally been anyone like a friend or a neighbor and the movie would not have changed.
They're here.
What was that?
Thanks, Grandma. That's not freaky at all.
The dialogue is so cringe. Dude, what the fuck? They're clearly hurt. What are you doing? That is the funniest response to two people turning up at your place injured that I have ever seen. So they send one of the brothers after the driver for some reason, I guess to see if he's okay, but realistically, he's not surviving what he went through. Which results in one of the funniest non-Bambi related deaths in the whole film.
What a twist!
So I haven't mentioned them yet because this is the first time they really become relevant to the story, but there's this group of huntsmen who seem to be very curious about Bambi's escapades, and they're the ones who just murdered the brother accidentally. Now, spoiler warning, but these dudes are the ones who dropped the nuclear waste which corrupted Bambi in the first place, so they're kind of important, but they don't really do much for the first half of the film, so I'll come back to them later.
Grandma? Grandma?
Shut up!
Harrison!
Oh.
I seriously would like nothing more than for this kid to die in the most horrific way possible. There is something about disrespectful teenagers that pisses me off irrationally in a way that I cannot explain. Luckily for me, Bambi ends up attacking the house, so there's a chance, lads! These scenes do highlight that the movie CGI isn't 100%, since you can see Bambi in these brightly lit shots and you can kind of see the imperfections in the effects, but I do have to say that he still looks better than Rippy. Like, he looks pretty good considering how low the budget is for this film.
Let's go.
Damn, they really just left her there. Dude, that's your partner. Like, fucking hell, that's cold. I really like this death. And hey, at least she didn't technically die first like the stereotype would usually dictate. Although this kid's reaction is horrifically bad and his terrible acting is another reason that I want him to die. So now, Bambi chases them in the RV for a while as the huntsman finds the house and the damage that Bambi left in his wake. Dude, that was psychotic. You have a gun, but why didn't you just shoot her? That would have been like 100 times more humane. I mean, maybe he didn't want to alert Bambi to where they were, but he seemed to really enjoy what he just did. Oh, wait, I just remembered that the one brother's death wasn't actually the funniest non-Bambi related death in the movie. This one is.
Drive, Benji, drive!
Like, seriously, you're doing Bambi's job for him. Yes, get him, Bambi! I'm genuinely glad that he fell into shit. It made my day.
What the fuck do you want? Fucking thing.
Now, when I tell you that when I first watched this scene, I genuinely gasped. Like, first of all, bunnies are actually my favorite animal, so this really hurt my soul. But also, what kind of psychopath kicks a rabbit for no reason? God, I love how creepily Thumper and his friends move. Like, rabbits move like this usually, and it's pretty cute when you see it, but this is really unsettling. Okay, real talk. I'm gonna have a bit of a hot take here. We need to normalize killing dickhead kids in horror movies. Because this shit was satisfying as fuck. Oh, but killing kids in horror movies is wrong because they're kids. Yeah, and this kid was a dick. What's your point?
Benji! Benji, what the hell are you doing? Mum, I just thought I saw something. Oh, did you not listen to a word I said?
Well, there goes any chance of you guys hiding within the covers of darkness. Well done, Benji, you fucking idiot. Yeah, so I wouldn't trust some randos in the woods to pick me, my child, and my elderly ex-mother-in-law up. But I guess this woman's self-preservation is non-existent.
Shut the fuck up!
If anything happens to this baby deer, I will kill the people who harmed it, everyone within a 5-mile radius, and then myself. Okay, so we discover that this group are attempting to hunt down Bambi because they know that they're the ones who caused him to get all massive and scary in the first place. And also, that Benji's dad is their leader. Which brings up a lot of questions. First of all, why on God's earth would you think, as someone who knows what Bambi is capable of doing and why he became the way that he is, for your entire family, including your child, to come to a massive house within driving distance of your weird little facility and so close to where you know Bambi is? He later says in the movie that he told his ex not to come to the house, but even if he genuinely did, you could have warned her about the dangers rather than being vague about it. It's only your child's fucking life. And also, what about your brothers? Your nephew, even if he was a little shit? Or, I don't know, your mum? Why did you let them go to the house? Like, he seems genuinely upset that his brother dies and turns on his ex when she tells him, but I'm not being funny, dude. What did you do to prevent his death? Yeah, fuck all, exactly. Second of all, if you're trying to clean up your mess so that no one knows what happened, then what the actual hell was your plan, and why did your crew act like them walking around the forest at the beginning of the movie was anything other than stupid? You guys have virtually no idea how to deal with Bambi, and no real plan other than kidnapping his kid and hoping that draws him to you, but then what? You're hoping you can just shoot him and kill him? Like, he's fucking fast. What if he gets you before you're able to kill him? And also, he's pretty fucking strong too. He's managed to take out a lot of people in a short space of time. He crushed a car, for fuck's sake. Also, why the fuck didn't you tell your crew that your family was staying nearby and to be careful in case they see any of them walking around? If they knew that their boss's family was close by, then they probably wouldn't have shot his brother. Like, communicate to your fucking team.
I wanted to look out for Benji. I didn't want to let Benji down.
Really? Really? So that's the reason, is it? Why you begged me to take him this weekend?
I didn't beg you.
Oh, please.
Your turn.
Please.
You're his dad.
Guys, now really isn't the time for a domestic.
Look what you fucking gone and done now. Oh, it's heavy. Shut up.
You know, I was pretty indifferent to the bad guys up until this point. Other than this fucking psycho. But now that I'm seeing how they're treating this poor little baby, I'm fucking ready to throw hands. Oh, also, Benji wanders off because he's a child in a horror movie, so of course he does. I mean, are you really a child in a horror movie if you don't wander off when you're not supposed to?
Give me the phone.
Zana.
Give me the fucking phone.
Zana. Fucking stop.
Simon,
Boss.
Simon.
Fucking stop.
Simon, we need to call the police.
Why the fuck is Simon the boss when he's clearly not equipped to deal with stressful situations, and this other dude is, even if he's a psycho about it? Like, seriously, he's such a shit leader and he doesn't really do any leading throughout the movie, so how the fuck did he get this job? So I guess because they want to lure Bambi to them despite being completely ill-equipped to deal with him, they take his baby out to the forest.
I'm going for a piss.
What?
No. Can't you wait? I'm desperate.
Mate, I'm sorry, but you're going for a piss when Bambi's about. Are you fucking suicidal? Okay, I kinda like that death. We find out that the group collected the bodies of the family members and brought them to their base, and I do have to wonder, when did they find the time to go and look for the nephew's body? Especially when there's another body in the forest that Benji and his mum saw earlier that they didn't go and collect. But whatever. I know that I said this earlier, but all of the shots of Bambi in the dark are just so good. Like, I genuinely think they look great. Ooh, this death is actually pretty grim.
You alright? Are you okay? I'm gonna get you out of here, okay? You're safe now. Let's get you out of here.
Benji, why are you being so stupid? I know that your heart's in the right place here, but not only is the crew gonna go after you for taking that poor baby, but Bambi will definitely kill you if he thinks that you're gonna hurt him. This shot of Bambi and the grandma is really good, and I can't lie, but she's so fucking metal for being this calm in this situation. Oh my god, why is it so difficult for characters to stay quiet when hiding in horror movies? It can't be that fucking hard! Well, I guess Grandma's dead. Now, we come to the final conflict of the film, which is, I can't lie, a little bit dumb. Benji's dad basically doesn't want to call for help because he knows that he'll be arrested for, you know, all the toxic dumping and whatnot. Which is stupid because, I'm not being funny, mate, but the alternative is death through Bambi. And he'll kill your family too, which he's already killed a lot of, by the way. And the mum's trying to just get her and Benji out safely. That's the whole conflict here. I just love that Bambi went for the one guy with a gun. He 100% knows what he's doing.
Sorry.
We are disappointed, but not surprised. Okay, so I need to confess something here. I actually really like the ending of the movie. Like, unironically, I really, really like it. I think the director and the scriptwriter were attempting to make something a bit more serious this time around in comparison to Blood and Honey. And they succeeded in making me give a shit about the characters by the end of the film. The mum manages to keep Bambi calm and hand his son over, and it's super tense, but uplifting. However, this is why we can't have nice things. Although, to be fair, if I were this guy having seen my colleagues all die at the hands of this massive deer and being dragged away by him and seriously injured, then yeah, I'd probably want to kill it too. So I don't really blame him. I guess the grandma just survived the fucking explosion then. Okay. How the fuck is this more compelling than the Mufasa death scene from the 2019 Lion King remake? How are you gonna end it like that? How is this movie making me upset? How is Bambi the Reckoning making me feel emotions? What the fuck? I really, really like Bambi the Reckoning. I know that in my last review, I mentioned that Rippy took itself way too seriously and that was its downfall, but I think the serious tone of this movie works really well in comparison. It may be a more serious monster movie, but it's also not boring. It basically gets right into the action and deaths immediately, while also giving us just enough about the main characters to kinda give a shit. Now, not all the characters were good, and most of them were just fodder for Bambi to kill, but it didn't need every character to have depth or be likable. Although it would have been nice to know who they were when they were introduced, but you know. The movie does have flaws, like the CGI not always being 100%, the messy introduction to some of the characters, and the acting at points was pretty damn bad, and sometimes their dialogue was even worse. But overall, I think that the movie is a massive step up from Blood and Honey 1 and 2. And it was really enjoyable. If this is the caliber of movie that we have to look forward to from these movie makers when it comes to the Puniverse, I'm actually excited to see what they do next. I know that they have the Pinocchio movie on the way, which for some reason is also going to be starring Robert Englund. Robert Englund? Freddy Krueger? Like, how? And I have already seen their Peter Pan horror movie, and trust me, a video is going to be made on it because I have a lot of thoughts. In terms of ranking, my choice may shock you a little bit, but I'm going to put this in This Could Have Been Good. Now, I know the title of the rank may confuse some of you since I clearly enjoyed the movie and thought it was really fun, but this tier is for movies that I see a lot of potential in rather than being bad, and me wishing that they were actually just good movies, if that makes sense. Much like Smiley, I don't consider this to be a bad movie in the same way that something like Hell Shark or Piglet is, mainly because actual effort went into making this. And trust me, I'm not saying that Smiley had much effort into it, but it's clearly more competent in a lot of ways than some of the other movies that I've reviewed on this channel. Like, I could see Bambi the Reckoning being a real monster movie that people take way more seriously with a bit of tweaking. The characters just need a bit more character and simpler dynamics. The subplot with Benji's dad could have been fleshed out a little bit more because we didn't really get that much information on him. And the CGI having more of a budget behind it would help as well. Same with the gore, and maybe some better actors wouldn't hurt. But the foundation is here for a really, really good monster movie. Despite me saying all of this, I loved this, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm really glad that my husband bought it for me. He's really good at picking out these bad movies. I need to just make him, like, my official movie buyer. So, if you disagree with my ranking for whatever reason, or even the points that I made in the video, then you can let me know in the comments. Or you can tweet at me. The links to my Twitter/X and Blue Sky accounts, as well as my Letterboxd, are in the description. If you follow me on Letterboxd, then you'll see all the movies that I've watched, so you can probably get an idea of what I'm going to review next based on that. And for the generous people who'd like to support me making these videos, my Ko-Fi and my Patreon are also in the description. If you join the Patreon, you'll have early access to my videos and my artwork, and you get monthly art commissions by yours truly, similar to these examples that I'm showing on screen now. So if that interests you, or you like the work of my art style, then you can become a member, or you can just message me on Twitter and Blue Sky because I do commission separately from my Patreon. So just let me know. I would really appreciate it. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.